You think you've lost time. You think you've missed it. You think the door has closed, the season has passed, and the ship has sailed without your name on the manifest. But I am here to tell you, time is not your master, and spirit is never late. You may have wandered, delayed, hesitated, fallen, forgotten, repeated cycles again and again, but the law of the Lord restores. Spirit does not keep a clock as man does. Spirit keeps rhythm. And the rhythm of spirit can redeem years in a moment, if you will only speak what you have not yet dared to say. Most people waste years, not because they lacked talent or intelligence or opportunity, but because they never spoke the one sentence that would have shifted everything. They waited for signs, for confirmation, for the perfect plan, but they did not speak. And in the absence of a spoken word, life defaulted to the outer world, governed by appearances, delays, fears, and false timelines. The soul was ready, the good was prepared, the storehouse was full, but the lips were silent. Let me be clear from the very beginning. You are not late. You are not off course. You are not too far gone. What you call delay, God calls redirection. What you call wasted time, heaven calls training ground. What you thought was punishment was really positioning, but none of that becomes fruitful until your word aligns with your truth. You have waited too long. Not for God, but for your own permission. You have waited on circumstances to change, not realizing that the spoken word is the cause, not the effect. There is a sentence that rewrites history, a sentence that resets momentum, a sentence that snaps you back into divine timing and summons your demonstration with spiritual force. I will give it to you. I will show you how to use it, when to use it, and what happens when you do. But first, you must let go of the story that time has robbed you. Time cannot rob the child of God. It is subject to your word. The world tells you it's too late. Your ego tells you you've missed it. But I tell you now, what is yours cannot be lost. It is not gone. It is waiting. And it is waiting for your voice. Speak, and the years realign. Speak, and the rhythm returns. Speak, and what seemed far becomes near. Because in the realm of spirit, the moment you say the right thing, the whole universe moves to obey. You have not failed. You have simply not spoken. But now you will. Silence is not neutral. Silence is not stillness. Silence, when the soul longs to speak, becomes agreement with delay. Most people live by default because they refuse to declare their destiny. They believe that if they wait quietly long enough, life will reveal its purpose to them. But purpose does not appear to the passive. Purpose is provoked by the word. Destiny does not emerge in the silence of fear. It emerges in the boldness of faith. I have watched countless souls stall their miracles, not because they lacked worth, but because they lacked the courage to command. They watched others move forward. They watched opportunities pass. And they said, perhaps it wasn't meant to be. But that is not truth. That is a lie dressed as humility. The truth is, they did not speak. And the law, perfect, impartial, and obedient, responded accordingly. When you do not speak, you are not free. You are at the mercy of circumstance. You are living beneath your divine rights, acting as a spiritual beggar in a kingdom that belongs to you. There is no reward for suffering in silence. There is no medal for delay. There is only postponed good, waiting on your decree. Because the spoken word is what initiates spiritual movement, not emotion, not desire, not silence. Only speech activates the law. To say nothing when you should speak is to hand your authority to appearances. It is to give your inheritance to confusion. It is to sit on a throne and refuse to rule. You have a mouth. You have breath. You have the law of the word. But when you remain quiet in the face of stagnation, you are not practicing patience. You are permitting delay. There is no virtue in voicelessness. You were not created to tiptoe through time, hoping to stumble into your destiny. You were created to call it forth. You were created to say, "Let there be," and watch it come to pass. Every unsaid word is a locked door. Every unspoken truth is a seed that withers. Every time you choose silence over declaration, you choose wandering over alignment. It is time to end the silence. It is time to break the contract with delay. It is time to revoke the agreement you made with fear. And you will do it not by weeping, not by waiting, but by speaking. Say this now. I am no longer silent. I revoke every word I failed to say. I speak now, and life rearranges itself around my decree. This is not poetry. This is not metaphor. This is law. Law hears your voice. Law does not respond to intention. It responds to vibration. So speak, and speak now. For every moment you remain silent, you are not just delaying your good, you are agreeing to live beneath it. Now I give you the sentence, not a phrase to decorate your journal, not a sweet affirmation to repeat without conviction. This is a spiritual decree that cuts through the illusion of wasted time, realigns you with divine timing, and commands the return of all that appears lost. This sentence, when spoken in faith and rhythm, has the power to shift your entire timeline, because it releases the law of restoration, the law of non-resistance, and the law of divine completion all at once. Here it is. Nothing is lost in spirit. I am now divinely redirected. What is mine comes swiftly and cannot be stopped. Say it again, slowly, with breath, with boldness, with sacred authority. Nothing is lost in spirit. I am now divinely redirected. What is mine comes swiftly and cannot be stopped. Most people never say this. Instead, they say, I missed it. It's too late. I blew my chance. Maybe it wasn't meant for me. And so they remain bound, not by truth, but by their own sentence of delay. Their word becomes their wall. Their speech becomes their snare. And they wait for years, not knowing that one sentence could have broken the cycle. Let me show you. A woman came to me in despair. She had turned down an opportunity 5 years earlier, a partnership, an investment, a life shift, and ever since, she had believed she ruined her future. She said, I had a window, and I let it close. But I did not accept that verdict. I handed her the sentence and told her to speak it aloud 3 times a day for 21 days. No wavering, no apologizing, no compromise. Just pure declaration. She began speaking, Nothing is lost in spirit. I am now divinely redirected. What is mine comes swiftly and cannot be stopped. On day 8, she received a call from a former colleague with a new invitation, better than the first, perfectly timed, precisely what she had desired. The old path had only been a shadow. The new one was the real thing. But it did not come by effort. It came by the word. The law responded to her sentence and realigned the invisible to serve her. Understand, spirit does not operate in linear time. It operates in divine pattern. And when your pattern becomes verbalized, when your rhythm matches heaven's blueprint, what you thought was gone will return by another route, not because you earned it, but because you finally spoke as one who knows. Repeat this now. Nothing is lost in spirit. I am now divinely redirected. What is mine comes swiftly and cannot be stopped. This is your new timeline. This is your spiritual override. This is the sentence that rescues the years. And once spoken in full faith, the law must obey. You think the years have been wasted. You look back on broken relationships, missed calls, half-built dreams, and you wonder, what was the point of it all? But I tell you boldly, in spirit, nothing is wasted, nothing is lost, and all time is redeemable through the spoken word. There is a higher clock than the one on your wall. There is a divine timeline that does not run on deadlines, disappointments, or delay. It runs on decree, and what you speak into that timeline becomes law. The law of restoration is not emotional, it is mathematical in spirit. It does not weigh your mistakes. It does not tally your failures. It listens only for the voice of faith, the command of truth, the sound of spiritual identity. And the moment you speak in alignment with restoration, the law begins to fold time, reroute your good, and bring forth what you believed was lost. Let me give you a living example. A man came to me defeated. He had spent 2 decades chasing one business that never bore fruit. He had ignored his inner promptings. He had resisted every call to pivot. He said, "Florence, I wasted 20 years of my life." And I told him, "You did not waste 20 years. You simply haven't yet spoken the word that redeems them." I handed him this declaration: "My years are not lost. They are restored. Every hour I once misused is now repaid with perfect purpose." He spoke it for 7 days. On the 8th, he met a former client who offered him a new path, an accelerated version of the old vision, with all the resources he needed. What would have taken him 10 years to build came together in 10 weeks. Why? Because the years are not restored through effort. They are restored through law, and law obeys the spoken word. When you align your voice with truth, the so-called waste becomes wealth, the confusion becomes clarity, the regret becomes recompense. There is no lost time in the mind of God, only divinely delayed demonstration, waiting for your word. Say it with me now. My time is not lost. My path is not broken. My years are restored by law. I speak, and what was delayed now appears in divine perfection. Do not mourn the lost seasons. Speak over them, redeem them, command them to return. Say aloud, "What I missed in fear, I now receive in faith." This is the secret rhythm of heaven. What you thought you forfeited is now on its way back, faster, fuller, and firmer than ever, because you finally spoke the word that invited it home. And so it is. Delay is not caused by life. It is caused by vibration. When you vibrate with hesitation, you attract pause. When you vibrate with fear, you attract stagnation. When your word is muffled by doubt, you enter into spiritual limbo. Not because spirit has withheld your good, but because your own tongue has suspended its arrival. So now, I teach you how to reverse delay. Not with panic, not with force, not with desperate effort, but with deliberate, rhythmic, spiritual speech. You must learn to speak against delay like a master commands a servant, calmly, certainly, and without apology. The law does not respond to emotional volume. It responds to spiritual precision. Speak clearly, and the doors move. Speak rightly, and the crooked paths straighten. Speak faithfully, and time bends to your decree. There are moments when appearances will scream, "It's too late." That is your signal, not to retreat, but to speak louder in spirit. Speak directly into the delay. Say, "This is not denial, it is divine rearrangement." Say, "There is no delay in spirit. My demonstration is now being positioned." Say, "My path is being cleared in silence. My supply is arriving in order. I walk in perfect timing, regardless of appearances." Every time you speak like this, you override the illusion of waiting. You convert the appearance of stillness into the truth of movement. You remind the law of your authority. And the law, being perfect, cannot resist your instruction. Let this become your daily spiritual hygiene. When doubt arises in the morning, say, "This is the day of demonstration. I do not wait. I walk in revealed rhythm." When regret whispers in the afternoon, say, "I bless my former path. I now receive greater good with no resistance." When fear of delay returns at night, say, "Spirit wastes nothing. What is mine arrives swiftly under grace." This is how you speak as one who governs. This is how you exit delay and enter demonstration. You do not beg the day to turn. You declare that it already has. Speak now. There is no delay. There is only divine orchestration. What I call forth appears, because I speak in rhythm with spirit. And let that be your ongoing rhythm, because once you begin to speak like this, not once but daily, not passively but powerfully, delay becomes impossible. The law has no choice but to obey the voice that refuses to be contradicted. Now I speak to you with holy urgency. You have heard the truth. You have received the sentence. You have touched the rhythm of law. But none of it will matter unless you accept the mantle, unless you act, unless you speak with consistency and command. This is not about inspiration. This is not about waiting until you feel ready. This is about rising in your own authority and deciding, once and for all, that your life moves at the pace of your word. So I give you this charge. For the next 21 days, speak this sentence 3 times a day, without fail, without hesitation, without apology. Nothing is lost in spirit. I am now divinely redirected. What is mine comes swiftly and cannot be stopped. Write it down. Carry it in your wallet. Save it on your phone. Whisper it into your pillow. Etch it into your day like a spiritual appointment. Not out of superstition, but out of dominion. You are not testing God. You are activating law, and law responds to rhythm, to repetition, to unshakable belief. You must not speak this once and then return to fear. You must not speak it once and then contradict it with worry. You must not speak it once and then cancel it with your doubt. Speak it and seal it. Speak it and trust. Speak it and move. Here is your challenge. Speak the sentence when you wake. Speak it again at midday. Speak it once more before you sleep. Each time, speak as if the universe is leaning in to obey, because it is. Speak with reverence, speak with rhythm, speak with joy, and expect to see signs, shifts, and divine interruptions within the first 7 days. Because the moment your word becomes law, life begins to reorder itself in your favor. And I tell you this, you will not finish these 21 days the same. Doors will open, regret will melt, momentum will rise. You will not need to chase what is yours. It will come find you because your word will have summoned it. You are no longer the seeker, you are the speaker. You are no longer the wanderer, you are the governor, and you no longer live by delay, you live by decree. So rise, speak, declare, and watch what returns, not because of time, but because of truth spoken in time. Now we speak not to explain, but to command, not to learn, but to imprint. This is the affirmation sequence that seals the truth into your being. Each sentence is a spiritual strike. Each word is a vibration of certainty. Say them not as questions, not as wishes, but as divine facts. Speak them with breath, with rhythm, with power. Let every part of you hear this. Let every old belief fall away. Let every cell obey. Say them now, out loud, slowly, one by one. Nothing is lost in spirit. What is mine returns in greater form. My years are redeemed by law. I am now divinely redirected. I do not wait. I walk in perfect timing. Delay is over. Demonstration begins. My word governs my timeline. What is mine comes swiftly and cannot be stopped. Again, nothing is lost. I am redirected. It is coming now. Let the rhythm carry you. Let the truth echo in you. These are not poetic lines. These are activation codes. Each one cancels an old belief. Each one plants a new pattern. You do not need more time. You need a new word. And now that you've spoken it, your world is rearranging. Say this final seal. I speak, I realign, I receive. Again, I speak, I realign, I receive. One more time. I speak, I realign, I receive. And so it is. Now that you have spoken, stay in rhythm. Do not return to silence. Do not shrink back into delay. Let your decree become your daily atmosphere. Let the vibration of your word continue until your demonstration is visible, tangible, undeniable. This is not the end of a video. It is the beginning of a new way of being. Comment below and write the sentence that restores your time. Nothing is lost in spirit. I am now divinely redirected. What is mine comes swiftly and cannot be stopped. Let your comment be a contract with law. Let your words testify to your new rhythm. Return to this message daily. Re-listen, re-speak, re-enter the current of power until your outer world reflects your inner alignment. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not late. You are in divine positioning now, and your word governs your world. Subscribe, not for more information, but to remain in this vibration. Come back here as often as you need, not to remember, but to reignite. This channel is not a library. It is a temple for your word. Your years were never wasted. They were simply waiting to be called back by your voice. And now you have spoken. The shift has begun, and nothing can stop it. And so it is.